fuck up.
Yo, what's going on, all you night owls? So, I'm still not over the fucking weekend of DFW. My sleep's all fucked up. So, I was on the phone with the Roll Keeper, and I was telling him that I was going to review one of these Mark II Designs weapons packs that I bought, since I got 5 of them this weekend. And I was sitting here and I was painting one of them. And I was like, you know what? What if I threw on some music and just did a little kind of painting, little stream. So whoever can't sleep, whoever's bored, you can come on and watch me paint tiny pew-pews. I'm gonna try some different things with these. And then I also got some that Shane gave me, that Turk Murphy 3D printed, but so I'm almost done with one of them, and I also wanted to test because I think it was Gonzo that said that I think he had asked if you could paint these without priming them, and technically you can, because I just painted. I'm almost done painting this pew right here, and I mean, the paint's sticking. Now, if you're wondering what paint I used, well, what I did was I took some of the Apple Barrel matte black here, right, and put maybe three or so drops in there. Then I took some airbrush thinner and I put about 3 drops in there. Because usually with these type of paints, the acrylic paints, usually those are the ones that you want to add more thinner to. Let me put on some music while yeah. So usually what I do with the if you buy any of the Apple Barrel paint, it's pretty good from Walmart. Usually what you want to do is you want to add more thinner. You'll want to add more thinner to that than, say, like the Vallejo. You don't want to add too much thinner because then it waters it down and then it ends up not coming out right. But what I did was 3 drops of the Apple Barrel matte black, 3 drops of airbrush thinner, mixed it. Then I added 2 drops of the Vallejo light steel. This is the Mecha color, so this is what you would use for Gunpla. It's like Gunpla paint. So I did that, and it turned out pretty good. Nothing's chipping. Everything seems to be pretty good. Because last time I used that was like on these. It was this one. Yeah. So last time I used it, these ones I got off of eBay. these 3D printed TPUs, and this one's a little bit smaller. It's a little bit smaller than this one. It said 1/12 scale, but I don't entirely know because that seems oh no. Maybe it's just the build of it. But I did something a little bit different with this one, but that light steel, it comes out pretty good if you darken it. No, I don't even think you need to darken it because it comes out about, I don't want to show it too close. But see how it's like that darker color there? So it's not bad. It's not a bad paint, but this one, let's see if I cover it, maybe they won't get pissed. Maybe YouTube won't get pissed. But yeah, it's about the color that it comes out, so it's not bad. Kind of doing a little bit of practice because Woody gave me he'd given me a Praetorian Fury that he wanted me to paint up jungle colors, like a jungle bat. So I'm gonna have to go to Hobby Town and get some kind of jungle colors. I do have military green because the last time I went, nah, look and see if I missed any spots. I missed a spot right here. So the last time I went to Hobby Town, they didn't have the color that I was looking for, which I needed like a rotten flesh color because I have a 3D printed zombie head that I wanted to paint. But I think they had some jungle colors there that I think I could do. The good thing is I'm not gonna have to paint. I'm not gonna have to like prime the whole figure. I'll just go in and just do bits of camo, because what also helps is that it's already green anyway. So that works. And Woody said that I could use it for a video or something, so I'll probably end up doing that. We'll see. But yeah, if anyone stops in, cool. If not, replay squad is appreciated, but I am going to be reviewing one of those 2 designs weapons packs. Even though I have to review the Valverse one because that's what I teased in the review, so I'm gonna have to do that. But I also have, I don't know if I painted, I guess I did paint both of those, but I thought I had another one that painted. Let me go look and see if there is another one I painted. Okay. Yeah, I found it. It was a smaller platform version of it, but I think I painted it. I think I just painted it that light steel, but I don't think I ever finished it, so I might paint that as well. I'm gonna try to hold it from a distance so then I don't get hit. So then YouTube can see that it's not an actual sized pew because it's about the length of my index finger. But it's in that light steel. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint the stock here. And I'm gonna see what this looks like. Because I think I got these off eBay for about a couple bucks each. They weren't too expensive. I think these are actually... I can't remember what that guy's name is. Make sure that there's no... extra gook or anything. On there. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is paint the foregrip on this. It's going to be a bit tricky because there's a straight part there. Separates it from the body. Now, when you want to go to paint these, you want to make sure there's not too much paint on the brush, because otherwise you're going to get areas where it's going to kind of bunch up, so you don't want to do that. Because my light is all kinds of janky. Just trying to make sure that this is alright. Looks okay. I think for the flashlight attachment, I'm probably gonna hit that with some yellow because I I think I have yellow. I think I do. So, but it's pretty good. Let me check on this one here and see how the paint turned out. Which it looks like paint turned out pretty good. I'm probably gonna have to seal that though before I give that to a figure, because I think once I put that in the hands, it's probably gonna chip. Maybe that's why I haven't. Those ones I showed you that I just used the light steel on, these ones, I'm gonna hold them from a distance, but these ones I didn't give to any of my figures because like that glossy black, I might repaint that because I don't necessarily like the way that looked. In my mind, I thought at the time it looked okay, but it looks kind of chintzy and some of the areas didn't quite dry the best, so those might get repainted. But this light steel, like I said, if you want a good, like if you paint pew-pews and you want a good like base to start with, and then if you want a dry brush, this light steel is great. This mecha color light steel is great. So yeah, so the next thing with this Mark II design M4 is I'm gonna paint the optic there. I'm gonna paint that with this red. This is a really good red. If I remember correctly, I think I used this on I think I used it on the Mystery Machine. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna do a little bit of this. With these, you only really need about 1, maybe 2 drops max of airbrush thinner. Like I said, you don't want too much because it's going to water down your paint and then it's not going to look as good. So 1, 2, and then usually what I do when I'm going to mix some paint is I usually buy a pack of toothpicks. Then you're just going to mix that. It's going to mix that in there. Make sure that it's nice and stirred up. Okay. Now I'm going to go clean this brush real quick. And I'm going to go grab a few more different paints because one of these I'm going to try to do that military green on and try to see if I can mix a few different colors. So then I can test it out and see if what I have in mind will work with what he wants me to paint for him for his Praetorian Fury. So let me go ahead and put on my Be Right Back, and I will be right back. All right. Sorry about that. I had to also grab a few colors that I wanted to try, like this military green. I wanted to try on one of those PPUs that came in that pack. So this the little cocktail that I mentioned actually works out really well. So I'm gonna paint the barrel here, and I'm gonna paint the the attachments here. So the under barrel and the flash light attachment. I probably chose like the worst time to do these, but it was in the moment thing where I was like, oh, no one's streaming. So let me stream while everyone's asleep. No, but Shane was on the members only tonight for Figure Fight Club, which was excellent. They got to talk DFW, which was a lot of fun. Which overall was a fun experience. I definitely would say that I had a better time this year than I did last year. When I went last year, not to get all sulky or, not to sound like a pitying me. But last year I didn't know anyone at DFW, except the Yende showcase. And during well, actually the whole year 2024, I was just going through some shit. So you know that this year I went in with a different headspace mentally. And got to meet some amazing people like V. Connolly and his wife Sam, which were so nice, such nice people. And V. Connolly and his wife Sam gifted me a Fellowship with the Dollies patch, which I was extremely grateful for. I don't feel like I earned it, but the fact that they gave one to me was pretty awesome. Then I met Maximilian Tucker as well at DFW. He was extremely kind. I know that he was hurting at DFW due to his neck surgery that he had. So I tried to help as much as I can. So on Friday during the preview night, he bought a Vanguard, and I helped him out, and I carried it to his room for him. And then on Saturday at the swap meet, I carried his tote of stuff that he brought to the swap meet. So, you know, I don't really want any props or anything like that, or a round of applause or anything, just because, you know, I dealt with that with my grandfather. Wasn't the same situation, but my grandfather was still here. He was diagnosed with dementia, and then it advanced into Alzheimer's, which is not fun. It's not fun to witness that. And so when you're in that type of state, you need a lot of help with stuff. So I helped out a lot with him. So, and of course, you know, can't express how many times, but he was my father figure. So, you know, he was the one that, you know, taught me the values of life. And, you know, if you see someone that needs help, you always offer assistance. So that's what I did. Oh wow, it's a couple people in here. I'm just like trauma dumping while I'm painting, watching Squid Games, stopping by before I nod off for the night. Nodded off for a while. Well, welcome. So let me do this real quick. And I'll give you an update on the progress here of this. So a couple of people asked that bought some Mark II design weapons packs at DFW. I think Gonzo was one of them. He's here. And I believe he asked if you have to sand anything or prime anything. So we painted this one live, which, let me express this again for the fucking robot that's listening that works at YouTube. This is not real. This is plastic. This is about the length of my finger, and It's plastic. It's not real. I'm not showing anything real. But this was in that weapon set A pack. So I just went and painted the scope on it. But it turned out really good. Again, I used 3 drops of Apple Barrel Matte Black, and I put about 3 drops of airbrush thinner. Then I mixed it, and then I put 2 drops of Vallejo Mecha Color Light Steel. And so once you mix that and it dries, it gives you this color right here. So it's not exactly black, but it does look like what the real life version of this would look like. So pretty good. What's going on, Iende? I did grab you. I grabbed you a Praetorian Fury. It's not a chase, but I'm gonna try to head to the post office tomorrow. If I can't, then I'll try to ship it out next week. Just send me your address on Instagram, because I completely forgot it the last time that you mailed me something. So let me know. But they already announced the dates for DFW 2026, and that's the 29th through the 31st of May. So that's not bad. It should be a little bit warmer, but and if you can make it out next year, that'd be pretty cool. I think Rule Keeper is going to try to do Joe Fest and DFW. I think Gonzo's doing Joe Fest next year. I'll be doing DFW because now it's like 30 minute drive from me, so it's not bad. And I was talking to BX Medic, and I told him, let me know what the plans are once it gets a little bit closer to the convention, but what he's doing in terms of staying, because I'll give him some money if he wants to do an Airbnb, or if he wants to do a hotel room or something, so then I don't have to continuously travel back and forth. So for this, because it is a darker color, I'm going to be building up the color for this. But these Mark II design pew-pews look real good painted up. So any of you that bought these packs, you don't have to prime them or anything. You can just go in and paint them. I would say prime them after, just because I don't know if they're gonna chip. I don't want to try to attempt that. I'd rather just go outside and spray the shit tomorrow and see. But right now I'm painting a lot of M4s. I'm painting 2 right now. These I got from, can't remember where, but I bought a whole bunch of M4 pew-pews off of someone off eBay, because he was selling a whole bunch of 3D printed ones, and I can't remember who the guy was that did those. Was it Metal Beef? It's Metal Beef Studios, I think, but he charges like $30 just for the files, and I was like, dude, it's like fuck off. I'm not paying $30 for an STL file of something, and then I have to print it. You know what I mean? So, but I did two-tone this already, so the barrel, the buttstock, and the foregrip. Oh, and the mags are in this color that I did. And then the rest of it is that light steel. So if you're curious what that light steel looks like whenever you paint it on something, it looks about like that. So I got mine at Hobbytown, so you'll have to look. You have a Hobbytown in your location, light steel. It is like a gunmetal, essentially. It looks a lot lighter on the bottle, but it's not. But it looks good. I think I'm gonna have to probably get some yellow so I can paint the flashlight on there, but they do seem to be. Let me see if I have a let me see. Let me grab her. So I do have a slideshow prepared for this evening when we do our recap of DFW. I'm not going to show everything I picked up though, because almost all of it is on the shelf already. So all my Alley Vipers, all my bats that I bought, those are already on the shelf. My Steel Brigade Deltas that I got, those are still in bags until I can order head packs. I did pop that head pack alpha on trigger, and it actually looks pretty cool. So I actually like this. I like this one over the kind of generic head sculpt that he had. I don't know what the hell I did with it, but he had like a generic like ball cap with the beard. I probably have it somewhere around here. Oh yeah, it's right here. So I take that one over this one. That one, he looks more, there's more expression going on there. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do for the color of the clip there. That I might just do like a matte black, since it'll break that up and it'll be a three colors instead of just two, because I don't want to paint the mags the same color I did this and then the clip, because then it'd be stupid. Why would that be the same color? You want to break up the colors. And then I have to paint the optics on here too, which it looks like it has like a hollow optic on it. But they are about 1/12 scale size, because if I were to put that in her hand, it would be about 1/12. So you got that going on. Like I said, I don't want to put any of these in there until I coat them, until I seal them, and then I'll put them in like my classified or my Valiver's figures hands. But it looks pretty good. Oh, speaking of which, I should go grab Mikey's Mikey's Harley Quinn because I did do that whenever I got home. So let me go grab that real quick. Alright, I had to go grab it because I had on the I had it on the kitchen table. So thank you to Woody222 for trading me one of his extra Pandoras, the white Pandoras, because previously released Rhode Island Comic-Con Black Pandora is what I used to make this katana. I didn't paint this head sculpt. My coworker, who a lot of you probably saw at DFW, he was at the 501st booth. He had his Mandalorian armor on, and he had like a fur coat, like a fur cape. That was my coworker that I work with. So he had to volunteer for the convention, but he painted me this katana head as a birthday present last year, and I finally found a proper body to put that on. So I don't want to use the same. I don't want to use the same body, or I don't want to use the same black and red. So I wanted to try to. What the fuck? Okay, so in terms of thank you to Mikey JMK Customs for painting me this beautiful Harley Quinn head. There was a little bit of chipping because when I put the glue on, a little bit stuck to her face and it kind of took the paint off. I'll see if I can try to match the skin tone, or I'll ask him what the skin tone was and try to cover it, but you can't really tell. But I think it works. It works. Really good head sculpt. Fantastic work from Mikey. So yeah, I got to get her some sidearms because I hate those revolvers. So I got to try to get her some sort of sidearms. The jacket, I might get creative and put like an X or something like that, and put something on the back, like how she had in the Suicide Squad, where it said like "Live Fast, Die Clown" or something like that. But we're off to a start, so now I have a Harley to go with. I have a Harley to go with my katana. So originally the plan was to get one of the blue Valverse female bodies and get her like attack vest and all that stuff, but then I saw that and I was like, you know what, that kind of works a little bit better with her. I went to hang out with everyone I met last year first and foremost, and then met peeps I haven't met in real life before, then the Valis stuff. I was there when Roll Keeper did the Mark II head scan. I was like, I want to stay. I told Mark, I was like, I want to stand here. I want to see what this looks like. So, and then he bought a Mercer and a Sergeant Slaughter custom, which actually looked really cool. Oh shit, that actually came out really good. Holy shit, it's actually pretty vibrant. Okay, so for the optic for this PPU, so you can see, I don't know how well you can see that, but I put I painted a red on the sight there. And I just used, again, Vallejo. Vallejo is my go-to when it comes to the paint, and it's the red from their Mecha color. I also have their pink. I have the pink that they did, and it's pretty vibrant. So if any of you want to paint guns for your, pink pew pews for your snail shell or like your little armory figures, that pink is pretty vibrant. But that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna put it aside. This one, I think we're done pretty much. Maybe I might paint the optics on this, and then we'll I don't even think Gonzo got actually, I don't know if Gonzo got any of these Mark II packs. If not, then two boats. You got two boats. The Fortnite boats are good. I have one of them on my shelf. I actually have to dust that shelf in the morning. I'm gonna have to dust that fucking boat. I'm trying to make sure I don't get too close because I don't want paint bleed. But the reason why I'm on there here this morning, because Woody is the one that inspired me to do this, because he wants me to paint his Praetorian Fury in jungle colors, because he wanted to see what that looks like. So this is kind of practice for me before I paint that, because I don't want to fuck up his figure and I want it to look nice whenever I do it, because I've never had anyone commission me to, well, not commission, but I've never had anyone ask me to paint anything for them. So Gonzo got two boats. Gonzo got two boats. So since we're going to be doing military green or some sort of military color, I am going to be painting one of these Mark II weapons military, which I feel like it's only right that I paint. It's only right that I paint the lock key. It's only right that I paint that military green, right? It's only right that I paint that jungle camo. So, with that being said, I need to go clean my brush again. So let me go clean my brush, and then we'll get into trying to make some sort of concoction to paint this to where I'll get that military green. Should have looked on Amazon Went on sale 25. I know, it would have saved you room. It would have saved you room on the fucking luggage since you had 3 things of luggage. But let me go clean this brush, and then we're gonna paint this here jungle colors, so then I can practice before I paint Woody's Praetorian. Alright. But since Rollkeeper had asked the question of Gonzo, I'm gonna steal his question. Or I guess since Gonzo asked Rollkeeper this question here, I can technically answer that question too, since I haven't put them on any shelf yet because I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna put them. But I haven't told anyone this until I went to DFW. But I was on a 3 3/4 inch kick for quite some time, and then I got out of it when I bought Series 3 of Valiverse. That's when I got back into 112 skill. However, I have a little bit of a soft spot for one particular 1/18 scale figure, and it was one that was out in stores when I was a kid. I never saw it, but it blends my love for G.I. Joe and my love for horror. And so every time I see one of these little guys, I want to pick one up. And I got my first one off of eBay, and then I found more when they were cheaper on eBay, and more and more and more. And then last year I went to DFW and I got one for $20, and I got a 30th anniversary airtight for $20. That was almost complete. And that is this little guy right here, the 30th anniversary Zombie Viper, which for Pseudocobra, my favorite is the Jungle Viper. But for 30th anniversary, it's this little guy right here. This little guy brings me so much happiness. And so whenever I find them for cheap, or I find them at a convention, I always pick one up. So before DFW, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I had 6. Then after last year, I had 7. This is going somewhere, I promise. So at the swap meet on Saturday, I was selling some stuff, which I'm very surprised. I sold almost everything. And so I was looking around. I had bought I had bought an alley viper from a gentleman that was right next to where Shane and I had set up our little selling areas. And I walked around and I saw this gentleman had a bunch of cases and he had a couple of bins over by the counter of the bar. And I looked and it was 3 3/4, and it was in like a tackle box. I saw that he had a Moneybags Destro. Now, for any of you that weren't collecting Joes at the time during Pursuit of Cobra, Moneybags Destro used to be one of the most sought after Pursuit of Cobra figures because he was short packed. And he was very rare to find in the store. And at the time, he came with one of the coolest accessories ever, which was a giant bulletproof suitcase. And when you opened it, it came with individual stacks of money that were different currencies from around the world. So you had US bills, you had euros, you had British pounds, you had, you know what I mean? So people wanted it for diorama pictures. So I found him in a baggie for $20. The head sculpt for Destro was pristine. There wasn't any scratches or scuffs. The vac metal was like almost as if I had just taken it out of the package. So I asked him how much it was, $20. I go and I look over and this guy's digging because he had them separated. He had Joe's in one bin, Cobra in the other, and he's digging. And I saw 2 zombie vipers sticking out like this. And so when the guy left, I started digging through and I found not one, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 zombie vipers. And on top of that, he had the accessories for $1 a piece. So I got all the helmets, and I got all the sets of the vine hands for $1 each. And then on top of that, he had a 30th anniversary lifeline, which was also one of the hardest to find figures. It was him, Sci-Fi, Airtight were the 3 hardest. Oh, and Storm Shadow from Renegades was the 3 most hardest to find at a 30th anniversary. He was almost complete. I think he was missing the little oxygen tube that goes in his pocket on his shirt, and he was missing his sidearm and his rifle. But besides that, he had pretty much everything else. He had the stretcher, he had the case that opened up with the pads to resuscitate someone. He came with the IV bag, had his helmet. He had shock troopers in there, but I was so tired. I didn't want to dig through all his fucking bin of accessories to try to find all the pieces for the shock troopers. So if he's there next year, and he still has the shock troopers, so fucking buy him. But the zombie vipers were $5 a piece, so paint's very pristine. Some of these are 30th and some of these are 50th. And Gonzo scored 2 50th Zombie Viper 2-packs. Pristine. and I had to explain to him that there is a variation between the 30ths and the 50ths. I promise I am gonna paint this, but I'm on one with the zombie vipers, but there is a variation between these and the 50ths. So the difference to tell whether you have a 30th or a 50th is the Cobra logo is different on the 30th on both sides of the shoulders. So when you have it sitting straight, you can see it's at a slight angle because when you put his arm up, you can still tell that it's a Cobra logo. The other difference is the paint. The paint where the top of his head is split open is like a kind of glossy, kind of like a semi-gloss blue. On the 50th, it's like a matte blue. All right. And then the Cobra logos are different. So they're at an angle on here. So they just sit on an angle. The other difference is the knees. So for the 30ths, you'll notice the knees are clean on these. On the 50ths, they're not clean. They added paint to look like the knees on the pants are tattered. So, and I think the plastic is different too. It's a different plastic, but still, I mean, $5 each. Yeah, I mean, we went to Dallas Vintage Toys and they had just one 50 zombie viper, and it was $25 for just one of them, with a file card and the accessories was just $25. I got 5 of them for the price of one at Dallas Vintage Toys. So just want that to be pointed out. So to answer Gonzo's question, even though I don't think he gives a shit, that was my unexpected purchase, was the zombie vipers. So now I have, I think, 12. I told myself I only needed 10, but again, if I find more at a discount, you know what I mean, I'm gonna buy one. So anyway, so thank you for coming to my TED Talk in terms of letting me talk about fucking zombie vipers, as if anyone gives a shit. As if anyone came here for a lesson on how to tell the difference between the zombie vipers. Anyway. But Andy said he needed a couple. I think he asked me Sunday morning if they had any Cobra Shock Troopers, and I told him that there was a guy that had probably about 5 or 6 of them at the swap meet. But yeah, if you end up going next year, Andy, go to the swap meet on Saturday, because someone will probably most likely have Shock Troopers for very cheap, because the guy had no idea what the fuck he had. He had no idea what exactly he had. Okay, so we're gonna get into painting. We're gonna get into painting this master key. So I'm going to go with a different brush this time. And we're going to be painting it the same color. So we're just going to paint it on here. Um, is significantly. I did get the money bag Zestro for $20. I couldn't pass it up. Um, if I can't find the rest of the accessories, I think he was missing. He was missing his sidearm. He was missing the He was missing the sidearm, the ammo belt for the minigun, and the briefcase. But he had the minigun and he had the arm. So I don't know if he had the briefcase. He probably didn't. Or if he did, I was too tired to go in there and dig for that shit. But it is pretty cool. I had to explain to Gonzo and them why I freaked the fuck out when I saw this Moneybags Destro in there, because they weren't collecting POC at the time. But like I said, if you were collecting Pursuit of Cobra at the time, you know how hard to find Moneybags Destro was. Like how there's chase figures, he was a chase figure before chase figures were a thing. So was the Renegade's Storm Shadow, essentially. So Roadkeeper Andy was there last year, but I don't know if he knew about. I don't think he knew about the swap meet because that was the first year that they had done it. But I brought a whole bunch of shit to sell, and I sold about everything that I had, except for a few figures. And I think I walked into DFW Friday with, I don't know, maybe $30 in cash. And maybe like $40 in cash. And I walked out of the swap meet on Saturday night with about $220 in cash. Just from all the shit that I sold. And I spent a little bit of that on Sunday. And I think after DFW, I think I have about $150 in cash after DFW, so it was pretty good. That I'm just gonna bank that away for next year. So that's $150 I could use next year for DFW. But it was pretty good. I sold both of my Mezcos. Shane bought a couple things off of me. I think he bought one thing off of me. He bought a Taskmaster off of me. For $10. He didn't have the 10 at the time, but I told him, just whenever you get $10, just I'll trade you a weapons pack from Mark II Designs, and you can just give me, and I'll just give you the Taskmaster. You can take the Taskmaster and just, whenever you have $10, just buy me a weapons pack from Mark II, and we'll call it a day. So that's what he did. So that's how I ended up with one. I bought two on Friday. Rollkeeper was there when I bought two on Friday. And then I bought 2 more on Sunday when he was packing up his stuff. I caught him before he left. So, but yeah, swap meet is a lot of fun. Sometimes though, you have people at the swap meet that they bring stuff and they charge like sales floor prices for it. And the whole point is to bring shit to the swap meet for cheap. And Roll Keeper is out for the night. Roll Keeper, thank you, sir. We will hopefully we'll see you for the actual show. I'll see you hopefully when I go live, because that's going to be a fun live recap in DFW. Yeah, there was a guy that was selling a POC vamp in the box, sealed, and it had like a Ross sticker on it, which I thought was fucking hilarious. And he had a Cobra Fury, POC Cobra Fury sealed in the box for I think he was selling the vamp for $160, and he was willing to bundle the Fury and the vamp for I think $250. And I was like, it's nice. It's nice. But I can't do $250 for a fucking POC vamp. I know they're kind of out there in price because they're hard to find complete, but I can't justify $160 for a vamp when, you know what I mean? When you have when the actual vamp, the classified vamp, is going for about that right now, and it's about 3 times the size of the fucking POC. Actually, it's probably like double the size of the POC vamp, and it comes with the same driver. So yeah, it was that dude that was right next to me, Gonzo. He was on the other side. He was on the other side of the table, and he had POC shit. He had the Cobra. He had the Cobra pack that Chad bought. I don't know how much he paid for that, but he had it for $160, and I was like, dude, that is entirely. I was like, that's entirely too much. Like, I don't even think that shit goes for. I could look that shit up right now, and I'll tell you that shit doesn't go for $160. I'm about to look that shit up. It's off my computer stand. My fucking computer record. It's a mental breakdown. So. Oh shit. Well. That's about right. That's about on point for. See, he had a vamp for $160. I was like, okay. I was like, that shit is crazy, because I remember that shit costs, I think, $40. I think it was $40 at Toys R Us. I think. I want to say it was about 40, because it came with Double Clutch was the name of the character, but it was essentially Clutch. It was a Pursuit of Cobra Clutch, but for some reason they called them Double Clutch. I don't know why, but it was essentially Clutch from regular G.I. Joe. Trying to look this up and see if this fucking thing will cooperate with me. Oh well. I'll try to get that to load, and I'll let you know. But I went ahead and essentially primed this Keymaster. There are probably some areas that I need to go over again before I start painting it in jungle colors, but I'm telling you, this concoction, I'm telling you, for anyone that's painting, if you want like a nice, like, standard issue black, or what the fuck, streamer? If you want like a standard issue black for your pew-pews, that black with like 2 drops of that light steel, and you thin it out enough and mix it, it's a really nice. It's not too black, and it's not like a gunmetal gray, but it is a nice. It's a nice fucking color for what you get. Like, you don't get that kind of shininess, or you don't get the speckles in there for like a gray. So it's a nice primer. It works. It works. All right, now I got this fucking thing to work. Pursuit of Cobra. Yep. Okay, well, I guess he wasn't too fucking far off. I guess he wasn't too far off, because I'm seeing one in the box for 139, 138. This one has it in the box with no driver. This one has it loose without clutch. This one has it without clutch, but has all the stickers. Clutch by himself goes for about, that's about 25. It's missing the helmet. This one shows about 200. Holy shit, that fucking Snowcat is 137 in the box. Dude, I had that when I was a kid. I had the 30th. Well, they called it the Wolf. They called it the Wolf Hound, but it's the fucking Snowcat. I had that. I remember my sister bought me that. We went to fucking Toys R Us in New York, and she bought me that. And then, like, a couple days later, I was in the hospital getting my appendix ripped out. Oh shit, they got Shadow Tracker for... Oh, that's not his right. Oh, that's not the correct loadout for him. That Shadow Tracker is fucking awesome. I have that complete. I bought that in an estate sale on eBay. It was from a collector who passed away, and I have it. It's complete. I have that Spirit Iron Knife somewhere. The Toys R Us exclusive. That is the homage to Billy from Predator. Like, I'm just looking at all this shit now. I'm just looking at all this, trying to figure out what. How is it that his tank is cheaper than the fucking than this vamp? I don't understand that. Oh well. Hey, what's going on, Crown? We're painting some pew-pews, as you saw in the title. So at the beginning of the stream, I was painting this one right here. It is an M4 from Mark II Designs. So I did that. I painted the little red dot on the scope. It's kind of hard to see, but I painted that. I did a little bit of accents for this one that I previously painted. The only thing I didn't paint was the wrap around the double mags here, or I guess those would be called jungle mags. I didn't finish painting that because I'm gonna try to find some type of color that's gonna break that up. So, but right now we're working on this master key right here. Because I'm gonna paint this jungle colors because Woody had given me a Praetorian Fury, and he wanted me to paint it jungle camo because he was curious what it would look like, kind of like the jungle bat. So I'm gonna do that. But I wanted to kind of test that out and see how that would turn out here. So I figured I'd do it live. So if I fuck up, then you see it live. Yeah, for 450. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't understand. There wasn't this huge. I don't know where this like huge uproar of Pursuit of Cobra shit is going on. I don't understand, but it's insane. It's crazy. Anyway, so I can already see I kind of fucked up in some areas, so I'm gonna go over this again and do another. I think it's because this is getting a little. A little choppy there. So we're gonna but yeah, DFW was a lot of fun. I know you're gonna probably hear that from people for like the next week or so, since I had to hear from everyone that went to Joe Fest how great Joe Fest was. But DFW was really fun. I did the workshops. Woody Gonzo did the custom figure workshop. Gonzo told me he was going to do the diorama workshop, and then he never did. He abandoned me. Never did the photography one either. He just abandoned me. So, even though he could have won some atmosphere spray, his pictures, but even though I took it and I knew a majority of the tips and tricks with the lighting and stuff like that. They were using Ulanzi lights. I have 3 Ulanzi lights. I have 2 of the small ones and 1 of the big ones. They're good lights. They're affordable lights. They're essentially like off-brand lume cubes, except for like a quarter of the fucking price of one lume cube. So I would say just instead of buying a lume cube, you know, just buy a fucking Ulanzi light and you'll be pretty much set. When we were streaming this weekend, when Gonzo and them were outside, I had a Ulanzi light that I gave them to use, so that's what they were using out there. But yeah, 450. Yes, I guess. I don't remember. I don't know why there's like an uproar in Pursuit of Cobra shit all of a sudden, but there is. I don't know why, but there is all of a sudden an uproar because I noticed that the I'm gonna let this dry for a minute because I also noticed that when I looked for the when I was looking at the Zombie Viper, I noticed that that also shot up in price all of a sudden, which I don't remember the I don't remember these being so expensive. Because now we're actually gonna take a little break here, and I'm gonna switch my thing here, and we're gonna take a look. We're gonna take a look at what Zombie Vipers are going for these days on eBay, because I think it's fucking hilarious that they are going for this much. So let me put myself up here. So already off the bat, $25 on the card. That's not bad, because Gonzo and I saw one at DFW for $40. Someone was selling this Zombie Viper for $40. So $25 off the card with the all the accessories are there. 35, 21 for it sealed, but that's $6.95, so you're looking at about 30. 44, 69 for this 2-pack. Gonzo got 2 of these, I think, for like 30 a piece, which is pretty good. $35 for just the accessories. 32, 25, 44, 70, 29, 34, 39, 30, 39, 45, 30, with $12.57 shipping. I cannot imagine how the fuck it costs $13 to ship a carded Zombie Viper when it doesn't weigh that much. But you have 3 on here. 3. Oh, this fucking guy is like loaded on these. Look at this. He got 1. It's his Trooper 3, so I imagine he had. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so about 7 of these for 30 a piece. And some of they all cost $13. I don't understand that. 32, 42, 27, 40, 40, 40. What is that? So that's a bundle with the Zombie Viper, the Shock Trooper Hawk, and an Alley Viper. I mean, those are 4 really good figures. The POC Alley Viper is a good figure. I don't know if the Hawk is a good figure too. That Shock Trooper is probably one of the best from Pursuit of Cobra. I don't know if all 4 of them are worth $114 fucking dollars. I know the Shock Troopers are expensive. Yeah, so like 25, 30. So that's why it's better to go to. That's why it's better to go to these conventions and get them from people at the convention. That's why it's better. It's better to always look around because you never know what you're going to find, even when you go to stores like Dallas Vintage Toys. Do not just look at the shit in the box. Look at the figures in the bags. Look at bagged figures. Because you never know. Because when we went to Dallas Vintage Toys on Saturday, I found a rock and roll for $25, and he had all of his accessories. All the joints were really tight. Paint was good. And they had him in the box for $35. Not sure why there's like a $10 increase. Not sure if there's like special cardboard on Joe's that justifies a $10 increase. But yeah, so they had him for $35 in the box. They had CoverGirl for $35 in the box. But Rock and Roll was $24.99 in the bag. And then on top of that, I found Gonzo a Valiver Scarab for $29.99 in the bag with the file card, with the stand complete. All of his hands were in there. So, and I went up to him. This is this is how incentive I am. I went up to him and I held the bag like this in front of him, like it was like holding a fucking dog treat. To a dog, and just waving the bag back and forth. Look, I found you a scarab. Like this. so I was over here encouraging him to to spend money at DVT, but I got a Cobra bat in the box for $14. So so it was good. It was a good find. I think I have brown paint that I'm also gonna try. So again, let me go clean my brush. Talk amongst yourselves. If anyone pops in, just tell them that I went to go clean my brush, my paint brush. And that's what I went to do. But I'll be back. Okay. All right, I'm back. And I did find some brown, so we're gonna try that out too. So let me look up some jungle camo. Let's see. This is a question for anyone in the chat that wasn't able to go to DFW. Did you watch the Valaverse panel? Did you see anything? Because we're going to talk about what was shown at the panel. And talk about it. So if you're excited for something, let me know. Gonzo's excited for everything. Gonzo's buying one of everything. I am gonna probably buy at least one of everything, possibly. So while I'm sitting here about the mixed paint, I'm going to be using this Apple Barrel Matte chocolate bar brown. I'm also going to be using some Vallejo Mecha Color Lesser. Wow, I fucked that up. Fluorescent green. Holy shit. I'm like stumbling over my words still from our fucking shooting the shit session we had on Sunday. And then I'm also using this military green. This is from Reaper Mini. It was a Texas local paint brand, but they stopped producing these paints, so they had them for like $1 at Hobby Town down here. So my coworker and I, we loaded the fuck up on what they had. So I put 3 drops of airbrush thinner into the Apple Barrel because it is a thicker paint, so you're gonna want to thin that one out a little bit more than, say, the Vallejo paints. You don't want to add too much thinner. You'll want to add at least you'll want to add at least 2 drops max of airbrush thinner. And then for the thicker paints like Apple Barrel, you'll want at least 3 max. You could do a little bit more, but you don't want like you don't want it to be like watercolors. You want it to be like just the right amount of thickness to where you'll be able to get at least a coat on there, and it won't like hunk up or anything like that. Or talking like I know what the fuck I'm doing, like I'm Bob Ross or something. Do not go to me for painting advice. Okay, go to Go to Wraith Mace, who paints like Warhammer miniatures and shit like that. Go to Shane for painting tips. Don't go to me. Yeah, I'm gonna give you like pretty bare bones fucking paint tips. Okay, so I'm gonna look at and see if they have like a let's see. Oh, that looks kind of good. Okay. I'm going to probably go off of this one right here because that actually looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to do some of this military green first. So I'm going to see how that, holy shit, that actually looks really good. Damn. For some fucking $2 paint, that is some fucking really good green. Holy shit. I've never actually used this. I haven't used this military green, so this is the first time I'm actually using this. And I'm very impressed with how the paint is coming out. Like I did one layer so far, and that is about how bright. That's about how bright that green is. I don't really know how well that's showing up. Yeah, you see that? I just painted the buttstock of this, but that's how bright that green is. It's like army green. It's like an army green, like an army man green. Just pretty good for what we're going in for. Oh, you're going in on the pirates, the black. They look pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I like the aesthetic that they're going with that, and the fact that they're doing the raft boat is pretty awesome too. I'm pretty content with that. Which Bobby said the price wouldn't be that expensive for that boat, so I'm pretty content with that. I'm trying to see how far up the paint goes for this because I don't want it to go too high. Paint. This is a test right here to see what I'm gonna do for Woody with his Praetorian Fury. Since he bought a couple of them, he asked me if I could paint one of his Praetorian Furies in a jungle camo. So I've never painted jungle camo before. So what you're witnessing me doing live is painting jungle camo for the first time. So we're gonna see exactly how I do on here. And then if he decides to replay squad, he can let me know. He told me not to rush it, but I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to take like 45 years to paint jungle camo. Plus, I've never had anyone ask me to do commission work yet. Even on my dios, I haven't had anyone ask me to do that type of work. So I'm quite honored that you would trust me to do such a task. You told me to just have fun with it, and if I wanted to make videos on the process, I could. So, but I gotta at least know what I'm doing here with the jungle camo. So let me see here in terms of, because I gotta at least have a base here to work off of. But this military green is fantastic. I'm gonna be using this pretty often. Not too often, because like I said, they don't make this paint anymore, and I don't want to waste it on anything. I would rather it go to something and like that Praetorian Fury, something cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint the barrel here of this, and I'm gonna go ahead and paint the shotgun here. But if I did have at least one regret from DFW this year, it would be not being able to enter the diorama contest. I had an idea for what I wanted to enter into the contest, and it's on my Instagram that I have dedicated for just my photography now, which is 112 photography. But if you're curious, it was supposed to be this. What you can see my icon is, it was supposed to be a forest. I didn't get to finish the trees in time, and I didn't get to put any magnets in the I didn't get to put any magnets in there on my dio yet, so which kind of sucks, because I did have that campfire that actually lights up, and I think that would have looked really cool, but I'll have to try to finish it for next year. But so far I got the army green painted here. It looks good. I'm going to go in here and start doing the smaller details now. So that's where this brush is going to come in. And I'm going to start doing so on this picture here, it shows some stripes. So that's what I'm going to do here. Some simple stripes on there and get the kind of here and here. And then up towards the top here, there's a little bit of camouflage, like actual camouflage. So it's one of those camouflage splatters. So I'm gonna here and go up here and make it kind of look like a camouflage splatter there. And then it's a little bit on the back here. What makes it a bit difficult is the gun that they choose for this is completely different from the PP that I'm painting on my hand. So I probably should have chose a picture of this with jungle camo instead of what is on the screen right now, but it's fine. I'll make it work for what it is. So it's fine. And there's like it's areas on here. I think I should have painted the more vibrant. I should have hit it with the vibrant green and then did this. It's kind of harder to just add a little, I don't know, something kind of there. Okay, so I did a little bit on there, and it seems to be drying pretty good with that. What I want to do is go into this this vibrant green here, this fluorescent green, and then start to do some little bits of camo on there. Let's see how that turns out. Oh, that's looking good. I mean, it kind of dries on watery, but I have used this before and it does end up fixing itself. So it kind of looks like ectoplasm when it dries on, which is kind of funny. But it works out. But now that I know this military green works, it's gonna look really nice when I paint Woody's Praetorian Fury. So it's gonna look really, really good. Trying to see where they have it. But going back to the Valor stuff, it seemed like a lot of people were excited for the that World War II stuff, the Valorverse 1944, which we all kind of knew that was going to happen because of what was teased in the weapons pack. We all kind of knew that we were going to be getting some. We all kind of knew we were going to be getting. Just kind of looking to see. Holy shit, this actually came out better than I was expecting it to. So I got one side done. I got one side done for the camo. So it's kind of jungle camo. For anyone that's tuning in, if you see me looking like an idiot like this, I'm trying to paint camo on this. Like I said, we're painting PPUs, and so I'm over here painting PPUs. So that's what we're doing here. And I am going in here and I'm adding some camo. Areas on here, which usually this is not my forte. This is like something for Mikey to do, but Woody had asked me to paint his Praetorian Fury in jungle camo, so that's what I'm doing here. I wanted to test out my paint that I had here and see if I could handle myself painting jungle camo, and so far it's going good. We're not really having any issues here painting jungle camo here. Everything actually looks really fucking good. So I haven't even gone in here and used any brown or anything like that, which I might do. But I felt this was fitting for a stream, because not only do I get to test out something that I was curious about, well, two things I was curious about. A, if I could paint jungle camo, and B, if I could if you could actually paint these fresh out the box, since these are the Mark II Designs stuff, and I didn't really ask them when I was at DFW, so it was a kind of question that a lot of people had, so I figured I'd be the idiot that would take the challenge on and see how that went. And so far it's working. I think you might have to paint it with the a finish, do a finish on it, and see how that would turn out. But so far, it's going good. We're going strong. We're adding some fucking jungle camo to this. What sucks is I don't have anyone that might use this. I think I have like Rakondo, but he's got like tiger stripes and shit on him, so I don't really know who the fuck would use this. I don't know I could use this with. So I think this side looks better. I have to do a bit of messing around here and see if I can get what's up, Kaiju Kitty? I have to mess around with some of the paint. I might have to try this brown and see if maybe I can blend that in, but I think right now I don't really have any complaints. It's kind of hard because you're not going to really be able to see the jungle camo because my camera is kind of shit and the lighting's not the best. If I hold it up like this, and you're not going to really be able to see it, I don't think. So probably not. Yeah, probably not. Maybe if I get my phone up. Maybe if I shine a light on this, it might. Oh, nice. My oh shit. Can you see it? There we go. So this is what I got done so far. See, on the side it looks a little bit lacking. But this side looks really good. So sorry, I didn't mean to beam you people in the eyes with light. I mean to beam you with with beams of light, but I wanted to at least show you what it looks like, because I can see it, but for some reason this fucking camera won't pick it up. But I'm gonna try to mix in some browns and see if maybe that might work, because I could imagine that you would put some browns in there for for camo. So mixing in some browns here. Which is like some really fucking vibrant brown. So what I'm gonna do is, because that is really, really bright, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna dry brush over that and see if I can kind of dirty that up a bit. Let's see if I can kind of dirty that up and kind of blend that in. Just so it's not too obvious, but it's there to see if maybe I can kind of dirty that up. Like maybe it's been we're experimenting here. Oh, replay squad's gonna have fun with this. 2.5 hours, my dumbass pain fucking camo on a 112 skill PPU. But it looks pretty fucking good for like the first time of me painting jungle camo, or well, whatever my example was of jungle camo that was given to me. Let's see if I can do this without beaming you in the face again. I'm very sorry. It's just like really fucking hard to see this. So this is what the final result is. Can we see that? Can we all see the final result here? Or at least to the best of our abilities, because this camera kind of sucks ass. We can all see that, right? Right, we can all see that. Perfect. All right, well, hopefully the answer was yes, because if not, then I don't know what to tell you. But so That's so that was camo. So that was jungle camo. That was pretty fun. Um, so we've been at this for almost 2.5 hours, and so this is what was painted at first. I'm gonna bring back the light here to show you. So this was what I painted first when we were on stream. So I painted this one. And then this one I went and did a touch up on and repainted some areas. So the barrel got repainted, the buttstock got repainted, the foregrip, and the magazine got repainted. Oh, and the optics got repainted on this. So, and then this was the other one that we painted, which you watched me witnessed me paint this. So, ooh. So not the best camo job, but it's not bad either. So that is what we worked on for 2.5 hours. So if anyone's curious, these are the Mark II Designs weapons packs. He was selling both set A and set B. GFW, holy shit. The DFW G.I. Joe and action figure show. I bought 5 of weapon set A because I liked the weapons more in this than I did weapon set B. So I painted 2 of the weapons out of this pack. I will be reviewing this, so I know I teased the I know that I teased the Valaverse weapons pack as the next review, and I am still working on that review. But I'm stumbling over my fucking words. That's how I know I'm done. I have to reshoot the video portions of it because for some reason they didn't save. So that's fun. So for the time being, you'll get a review of this until I finish the review for that. So this also helps for anyone that was at DFW that bought these and wasn't sure if you could paint them out of the box, and that's what this stream essentially was for. But it was also a little tutorial on some painting. So am I Mikey? I am not anywhere near Mikey's level of painting, but I can paint basic things like camo and stuff like that. I can paint, but I can't paint like eyes and stuff like that. So anywho, so when I wake up, I'm gonna try to get this review shot before we go live at 4, which right now it is almost 3 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking a look at this. I have my Valaverse Vanguard that is coming on Saturday. I got my. This was waiting for me after I got home from DFW, and I already opened it, and it's already on my shelf. But it is the Ramen Van, the Ramen Recoil, aka not the van from the 18, not the 18 van, but I have it. That is courtesy of Jay Gonzo, so thank Jay Gonzo for that. That is already on my shelf. It's beautifully displayed. I have my BA Baracus over there. I have Hannibal Face and Murdoch that I need to get bash. I have to kit bash those, and then I can have them with my 18 pound. And then the Vanguard is going to go probably right here where my hand is like disappeared off screen, but it's going to go over there. And then I'm probably going to end up buying 3 fucking Vanguards at this point because Maximilian Tucker has me sold on a Muddy Vanguard because he showed the whole kit where it has all the attachments, and I was like, oh, I actually like that because that looks like a Dreadnought vehicle. But then I also saw the blacked out van that Ramen Toys did, and I was like, oh, that kind of also looks like a Dreadnought van, even though it's supposed to be the Punisher van. But to me, I see that as Dreadnoughts using that. So now I'm like, should I buy a Muddy Vanguard and put the hull kit on it, and then I can have the Dreadnoughts in that, or do I just give them the blacked out van and that's what they use? Because right now, I threw some Valaverse into my classified. That's just how I collect. But for my Dreadnoughts, I have a Copperhead, Zorana, Gemini Pandora, Ripper, and my Kit Bash Dreadnought mechanic that I used, that female desert opt for. So that's my mechanic for my Dreadnoughts. I don't have a name for her yet, but that's her. And then my Tiantina, who is my model for the Valaverse Weapons Pack Juliet, which is what I'm going to be reviewing. She is also in the Dreadnoughts too. So that's that. My goal is to get the rest of the Dreadnoughts before Monkey Wrench comes out in October. So I'm missing Road Pig, Buzzer Torch, Xandar, Zartan, and Nogahide, which I'm not sure if I actually want Nogahide or not, but I'm missing him. So that's what I'm missing for over here. And yes, I know Copperhead is not a Dreadnought, but to me, he fits with the Dreadnoughts. All right, he's got that kind of like swamp, he's got that look. All right, he's got that look. I don't know where the fuck to put him on my shelf, and I think he fits with my little kit bashed Dreadnoughts over there. Like Gemini looks like she belongs with the Dreadnoughts. Pandora looks like she belongs with the Dreadnoks. So yeah, she's got the aesthetic, the aesthetic. But anyway, I'm gonna end it here before I start like half asleep ranting. But I appreciate everyone that came in here. Kaiju Kitty, Allende, Crayon, Gonzo was in here. Roll Keeper was also in here. So I appreciate everyone stopping in. For the three that are here, feel free to hit the like button. If you liked me painting tiny pew-pews. And yeah, if you like these type of streams, let me know, because I am still working on the forest dios. If you want to see me in the process of doing that, carving trees and painting those and doing that, or you want to see me put together a dio from scratch, let me know. I'd be happy to do these kind of artsy fartsy videos, lives. And yeah, stay tuned for the stream at 4 o'clock, because we're talking about DFW. We're going over the recap. I got a slideshow of pictures. We're going to talk about the Valorverse shit as well. So stay tuned for that. Be there, be square. And I'm out.